Hello, friends. It's Chapo.
A dual show with a similarly popular podcast and pull those numbers.
Probably.
If we could combine with someone, yeah.
Then we can run for president as friends.
And then it was streamed live on Facebook and got about 100,000 views. So
Cringe.
that's
Yeah, no, she's trending and she's not trending well.
That is so funny about Cory Booker, though. It's just like, dude, like just drop out. You're giving talks at the Wing.
Yeah.
Why aren't you in Iowa or New Hampshire, dude? Like
Yeah.
you've given up entirely.
He has to go to Girl We Work.
Cory Booker is like, I've said it before, probably on this show, I forget. But the thing I do like about him is like he is trying so fucking hard. He just doesn't have it. Like he just doesn't have it, but he's trying so fucking hard.
But to do what is the question?
Hang out.
He just really wants to hang out.
Be nice to the most amount of people possible.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Yeah, that's what you said. Is that like his campaign is based entirely off of offending no one?
Yeah, he just likes making friends. He's a curious young man.
Well, that was his pitch. He was one of the first to announce that his pitch was, we just all need to love each other.
Yeah.
Let's all just get in a cuddle puddle, America.
Yeah.
And people were like, yeah, we're not really in the mood for that. We want to kill each other very much.
You're a free hugs guy in a bare knuckle boxing ring.
Yeah.
So Warren pulled a few thousand for her event.
Yeah.
And as we remember a few months ago, Bernie pulled in Queens 26,000.
Uh-huh.
And of course, Bernie had some firepower there.
Overflow.
He had AOC. But you know what? Bernie has AOC. Warren has Julian Castro.
Yeah.
As well, she got, 100,000 in live stream.
Mm-hmm.
What was that number for a recent video that the Bernie campaign put out?
Well, I mean, it just the Emily Ratajkowski endorsement video has 1.7 million views, and that's just on Twitter. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the Facebook numbers on that are.
I
but
think they're in the millions for sure.
yeah.
So she has officially been deployed for this cycle.
Oh yeah.
She went on Michael Moore's podcast, and I guess she's making the rounds. Might want to get in on some booking there.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. All right. Anything else on the campaign that you want to talk about? I have two reading series for us today. To sink our
I
teeth
do
into.
kind of want to read this thing. And I guess it's Greg Krieg, which I'm sorry, those sound too much like the same name. Change your name. Trump campaign blitzes Bernie over email for the second straight day. By the way, I tried to find this on the website, but it's not on the website. The Trump-Pence 2020 website is like all Christmas wrapping paper for sale.
Because we're saying it again.
I love it.
Christmas.
Yeah. And so dangerous. Bernie Sanders can't be trusted to defend American lives. Sanders opposed taking top terrorist Soleimani off the battlefield while repeating Iranian and Russian propaganda. That one it's going to bite you in the ass, too, because you can't play both sides of Russia stuff. But the best one is fact. Bernie Sanders is a wealthy fossil fuel guzzling millionaire. I like it. It makes it sound like he's drinking it.
Drinking
He's
crude. out of a
shotgunning it like just like a wealthy Hollywood elite. Triple parentheses Hollywood. Bernie Sanders lectures Americans how to live their lives while doing the exact opposite. Let's see here. Bernie Sanders is lecturing the American people they need to pay more in taxes, surrender their private health insurance plan, and accept job losses in order to implement his extreme left-wing agenda. But he's just another Hollywood-style hypocrite who demands working-class Americans make sacrifices while he plays by his own rules and enjoys a lavish lifestyle. Sexy Bernie lives large. Like, you're not doing it. They're dangerous Donalding him
Sexy
again.
Bernie has an arrangement. You're still with your disgusting wife.
It's just very, I think it's interesting that they're like, oh, and I think the right has figured this out, that Bernie is more of a threat than the Dems have. And two, they
panicking.
understand what people like about Bernie.
Well,
And they accidentally make him sound cool.
Well, you can see that they have to go with the culture stuff. So they're like, he's a Hollywood elite. Because the only type of rich people are Hollywood liberals. There are certainly no conservative rich people who control everything.
You say
I think he's doing tropes.
He's doing tropes for sure.
that press release was many tropes. Amber, I gotta say though, I did see a news item the other day about how Bernie and Jane have bought a fourth toaster,
God damn it.
living pretty high on the hog.
I love toast.
Yeah, no, that. I would say that is an encouraging sign.
It is good.
That's an
I'm glad
encouraging
that,
sign.
You know, because I mean, they're stupid. But at the very least, I think we can acknowledge that the right sees things about the Democratic field that the Democrats themselves are too hysterical to notice.
All right, I've got 2 reading series for us today to go through. One is fairly short, the other is a little bit meatier. But this first one, it's quick. I'm keeping this one in my back pocket since the end of the year. I think a full deck is the right one to put this up. This is coverage of the Young Conservative Convention near Mar-a-Lago.
Ooh.
This is the TPUSA convention. This comes courtesy of Vice magazine. It's by Jamie Lee Curtis Tate. I wonder if there's any relation.
Okay.
The headline is 12 unsettling photos from the Young Conservative, and you can guess what the photos are.
Use your imagination.
Just matching homunculi in red MAGA hats. So it just says here, last week, thousands of conservative high school and college students gathered for the annual Turning Point USA Student Leadership Summit in West Palm Beach, Florida. The summit was held near Mar-a-Lago, and Donald Trump showed up himself for a last-minute talk on the conference's 3rd day, during which he launched into a weird diatribe against wind power that went
doesn't
viral.
sound like him. Weird diatribe? That's not my guy.
The event consisted of talks, networking events, and workshops, all of which are pretty much what you would expect at a gathering of the right that included Ben Shapiro, Sarah Sanders, and the president. Capitalism is good. Impeachment is a sham. The left wants to take your guns and turn the country into Venezuela. Antifa, the real fascists, blah, blah, blah. Something to do now with how referring to trans people by their correct pronouns is the same as 1984. Then someone would say AOC, and the crowd would boo.
Can I just say it's funny how the way poll reporters have to describe the president's lunatic, senile remarks, things like weird diatribe, how that is now being used to recapitulate Biden speeches. And I found this was in an article in the LA Times. Biden immediately embraced the opportunity to emphasize the value of his foreign policy experience in a world roiled by Trump's America First policies, touching on his years in the Senate, including as chairman of Foreign Relations Committee and as Obama's trusted wingman. He did so in Iowa on Saturday in a rambling talk marred by some misstatements. But Tuesday gave a more formal speech guided by teleprompters in New York.
After he'd been doped up.
Like, how would you even cover that general election campaign?
Yep. Just finding different synonyms for just demented prattle.
I want it so bad.
The dementia thesaurus has got to be expanding by the day.
Yeah, in a disjointed series of slurred comments.
In a concatenation of syllables.
At times, both candidates appeared confused, pausing their remarks to ask, "Where am I?"
It was a practical cornucopia of incoherence.
The there you go again of the 2020 election, Biden versus Trump, will be both men asking the same reporter, Becky Quick from CNN, if that is in fact their daughter.
So all these things are just sort of a preamble. I'm getting somewhere with this one. So because a few times speakers said something so wild that stopped me dead in my tracks, like when Ann Coulter compared Ilhan Omar to Joseph Mengele, or when Dinesh D'Souza said, "To me, democratic socialism differs from socialism, kind of in the same way that gang rape differs from individual rape."
Jesus.
So.
What?
Oh.
Okay. So it goes on for a little bit, but so the organizers seem to have made a few attempts to make the conservative messaging more appealing to young people. There were a bunch of selfie stations dotted around, and the Ayn Rand booth had graphic novels and a downloadable emoji keyboard.
Hell yeah.
Sean Hannity was wearing a hoodie.
Yeah. By young people, they mean 11 years old.
Yeah, no, people there with their parents.
People who need pictures in their books.
These are young conservatives, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's like 50 years old.
Yeah. All right. Here's where I'm really going. Here's the crown jewel of this piece. The reason I selected it. The talk I saw that seemed the most explicitly crafted towards young people was one by disgraced BuzzFeed editor and current TPUSA employee Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson.
BuzzFeed Benny.
BuzzFeed Benny Johnson, who talked about the left's inability to meme. Johnson came out on stage.
Dude, every Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, I'm memeing on my family.
I'm getting flashbacks.
They're cucks.
I'm getting
They're
actual
memed on.
flashbacks to 4 years ago when Felix and I first met BuzzFeed Benny when he was still working for BuzzFeed in New Hampshire at a Ted Cruz event, and he was just kind of ambling around. The best way I can describe it is just livestock. And he was he was like a cow chewing his cud because he was carrying around a sack of candy.
Yeah, it was like candy corn. It was like
gross.
Not even good candy.
It was like, he had like an imbecile snack pack.
It was like a fanny pack full of candy corn.
And he was dropping candy corn on the floor. Just this ambling
Just
imbecile.
stepping on it, grinding it into the carpet without noticing.
It was like, they had like a horse who endured a head injury there. He was like very high energy, but accomplishing nothing. Like this was a cursed event. We saw Ted Cruz, Benny Johnson, and Frank Luntz all at the same event.
It's like a VFW hall or something.
Yeah, and it was like
Or
like,
a Mr. Universe pageant.
and it was like Frank Luntz was like just standing in a corner being interviewed by like some nobody from like, Talking Heads TV or Bloghead TV or whatever the fuck those places are, and being like, well, the establishment lane's still making its choice, but Trump's clearly out of the establishment lane. And, a talk for nobody, by nobody, enjoyed by nobody. Benny was just wandering around, just leaving his cud chewings everywhere.
Just lumbering around eating candy with this glazed expression on his eyes.
Ted Cruz.
I don't even know what content he was producing.
All right.
Yeah, I don't. There wasn't like a camera with. I think he was writing one of those articles that were like, in 2016, one thing's for sure, the memes are heavy.
And nobody was reading it. That was the most aggravating part about all of these like Ben Smith at BuzzFeed pushing Benny Johnson for some reason as a kind of right of center guy who could speak in millennial language. Is that nobody under the age of 40 ever read any of that shit?
No. They flew Benny to Fort Hood. Sent him out
For him to take a picture of a Johnny Rockets.
Yeah.
Also, if you don't believe this, I have video of it.
Yeah, no, we do. I remember this clear as day. This was like, oh man, this was our Apocalypse Now, that trip. And we're going back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're going
All right,
back in this shit.
all right, this is pretty good so
If
far.
I get memed on, I swear to God, you
all right,
guys.
so,
Officer memed on, requesting backup.
so
Repeat, the suspect is posting about Harambe in 2020. I am being memed on right now.
all right, so this is pretty good so far, right? So you're imagining, this already took you on like a Proustian reverie
Oh, yeah.
to back to New Hampshire.
I'm remembering
2016.
CPAC
Yeah.
very
So
heavily.
yeah, imagine. Okay, so Benny Johnson takes the stage to give a talk about the left's inability to meme. Okay,
Right on.
You ready for this?
Ready for it.
Johnson came out on stage accompanied by someone dressed as Left Shark. Remember that one? Remember that one?
What?
What?
Remember Left Shark?
Left shark. Paul. Hey, Paul. You enjoy the left shark, Paul?
I'm just hearing just chopper blades and machine gun fire.
Who's
Was
in
that
charge
5
here?
years
I
ago?
thought it was you.
Was that 5 years ago?
Left Shark was Katy Perry's Super
Yeah,
Bowl
yeah.
halftime.
That was more than
That was
5
like
years ago.
7
Christ.
years ago.
I
No.
feel like I didn't live in New York when
Yeah.
that happened.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Benny Johnson comes out on stage by someone dressed as Left Shark, firing a T-shirt cannon into the crowd and screaming, "Who's ready for some memes?"
Dozens of geriatrics were killed by this t-shirt cannon. It just punched a hole through their soft heads, their 90-year-old heads, and their last memory